They did not scream. They did not run. They went silent. Across the galaxy, thousands of worlds, millions of species, one word stopped them all. Earth. The name was not spoken loudly. It was shared in warnings, in secret files, in restricted data. Earth. Long ago, humans were ignored. They were seen as weak. They had soft skin, no natural weapons, no sharp claws, no hard shells. Other species laughed. How can they survive? Their planet was unstable. Their world was cruel. Storms destroyed cities. Quakes split the land. Oceans swallowed homes. Heat burned the ground. Cold froze life. Earth was never calm. Yet humans lived there. Not only lived, they stayed. They rebuilt. They returned. When fire burned them, they learned fire. When storms broke them, they studied storms. When nature tried to kill them, they adapted. Still, the galaxy did not care. Humans were ranked low, very low, until the signal came. No voice, no words, no warning, just a mark. Earth, deadly world. The Galactic Council stopped. Screens froze, data paused, breaths held. Deadly. That label was never used lightly. Deadly meant no contact, no travel, no war, no mistake. Questions filled the hall. How can a living world be deadly? Who decided this? What happened? But the report was locked. Only one line was visible. Earth does not kill its people, it shapes them. Fear spread slowly. They opened old records, Earth history, Earth survival logs, Earth emergency data. What they saw was disturbing. Humans faced disasters again and again and again. Each time they fell. Each time they stood back up. No species did that. Most worlds lost life after one collapse. Earth faced thousands, ice ages, floods, plagues, wars. Humans survived all. Not together, but always someone survived. The Council noticed something. Humans did not wait to be saved. They saved themselves. When food ended, they learned to grow more. When land failed, they crossed oceans. When enemies attacked, they adapted tactics. Humans failed, yes, but they learned from failure. That was rare, very rare. The galaxy valued strength, claws, armor, weapons. Humans had none, but humans had something else, a mind that refused to stop. Earth forced them to think, to plan, to react. Every day was survival. Every mistake meant death. Earth was not a home, it was a test. The Council understood. Earth was dangerous, not because of monsters, not because of poison, but because it never allowed comfort. Comfort makes species weak. Earth never gave comfort. That is why humans evolved fast, too fast. A warning appeared. If humans leave Earth, they will carry Earth with them. Not the land, the mindset. Survive, adapt, overcome. The Council grew uneasy. Humans were not attacking anyone, yet. But what happens when pressure leaves them? What happens when survival becomes choice? Earth trained them under pain. The galaxy might face them under freedom. The file closed. Only one sentence remained. Earth is deadly because it creates humans. Silence filled the hall. Everyone understood. This was only the beginning. The Council did not rest. They could not. Earth was now marked. Deadly. That word stayed in their minds. They reopened the files. Not surface data, not public history. Deep records, hidden records, the kind no one liked to read. What they found was worse. Earth was not one danger, it was many. The air itself, sometimes calm, sometimes violent. Winds strong enough to tear cities. Humans called it weather. To the galaxy, it looked like a weapon. Then the water. Oceans covered most of the planet, deep, dark, moving, waves taller than towers, creatures hidden below. Earth water was not safe, yet humans crossed it on weak structures, made of wood, made of metal. They trusted balance, skill, hope. Many died, still others followed. That confused the council. Why repeat danger? The land was no better. Ground that cracked, mountains that exploded, fire from inside the planet. Earth attacked its own surface regularly. Most species would abandon such a world. Humans did not. They built cities near danger, near fire, near water, near shaking ground. Why? Because danger gave resources. Fire gave energy, water gave food, ground gave minerals. Humans traded safety for growth. That was unusual, very unusual. Then came the life forms, Earth animals. Some hunted in packs, some hunted alone. Some were small yet deadly, some were massive yet fast. Earth had poison, teeth, claws, venom. Every step could be death. Humans learned patterns. They watched, they studied, they predicted. Instead of running, they understood. They turned enemies into food, into tools, into partners. That shocked the council. Humans did not dominate by force alone. They used knowledge, but knowledge required failure. Earth allowed failure. Failure meant death. Humans accepted this risk again and again. Records showed disasters, floods that erased nations, plagues that wiped millions, wars that burned the world. Still, humanity remained, not because they were united, often they were divided, but someone always survived, someone always learned. The council noticed a pattern. Humans did not fear death, they feared stopping. Stopping meant extinction, so they kept moving. When land ended, they crossed seas. When seas ended, they climbed skies. When skies ended, they reached space. Earth pushed them outward, not gently, with pain. The galaxy compared this to other species. Most evolved in safety, stable worlds, predictable seasons. Comfort shaped them. Comfort slowed them. Earth did the opposite. Earth applied pressure. Pressure creates change. The council realized something deeper. Earth did not need to be deadly forever. It only needed to be deadly long enough to shape humans. Now humans were leaving, carrying tools, carrying ships, carrying ideas, and something else, the instinct to survive anything. A warning appeared on the screen. Humans are adaptable beyond limits. Remove danger, they create it. The council felt cold. If humans faced the galaxy, they would not see peace or war. They would see challenges, and humans loved challenges. The file ended with one note. Earth is no longer the threat. Humans are. Silence returned. Everyone understood. The first meeting was not planned. It was avoided for years. Humans explored space, slowly, carefully. They did not rush. They remembered Earth. Mistakes were costly. The galaxy watched them, from far, from shadows. When humans landed on new worlds, they tested the ground. They tested the air. They tested the water. They waited. Aliens noticed this. Most species claimed land quickly. Humans did not. They acted like danger was always close, because on Earth it always was. The meeting happened near a dead moon, silent, cold, empty, a neutral place. The council sent observers, tall beings, strong beings, armored skin, sharp limbs. They expected fear. They expected humans to submit. Humans arrived in small ships, no weapons shown, no threats,
just stillness. Humans stood together, not many, but calm. That confused the observers. Why no fear? Why no panic? Humans scanned the area, checked signals, watched shadows. They did not stare at the aliens. They watched the space around them. That behavior was noted. Humans were not focused on enemies. They were focused on survival. The observers moved closer. Their presence was overwhelming. Their size alone was meant to scare. Humans did not move. Heart rates increased. Breathing changed, but feet stayed planted. One human stepped forward, slow, controlled, hands open, a sign of peace, but eyes sharp, not trusting. The council felt something strange. Humans were not brave. They were prepared, a difference few understood. The observers spoke, deep voices, heavy tones. They explained power, rank, control. Humans listened. They did not interrupt. They did not argue. They asked one question: what happens if we say no? The observers paused. No species had asked that ever. They explained consequences: isolation, blockade, force. Humans nodded, as if they had heard worse, because on Earth they had. The human replied, "We will adapt." That answer spread fear. Adapt meant dangerous word. The council checked human history again. Adapt meant new tools, new paths, new solutions, often unexpected. The observers sensed it. Humans were not here to challenge, yet, but they would not bend, they would not break. The meeting ended. No alliance, no war, just awareness. After the humans left, the observers reviewed data. Human ships were simple but efficient, designed for failure, redundant systems, backup plans. Human engineering: expect something to break because it will. That mindset alarmed the council. Most species built to last. Humans built to survive failure. Later, a report arrived. Humans had settled a hostile world. Toxic air, low gravity, unstable surface. Why choose it? Because it felt familiar. Earth had trained them. The council realized humans were not expanding for power. They were expanding to test themselves, to grow, to prepare. For what? No one knew. But one thing was clear. If humans ever felt threatened, they would not ask permission. They would respond, with creativity, with patience, with force if needed. Earth taught them balance, kindness, and cruelty. The galaxy had met humans, and the galaxy felt smaller.
The conflict did not start with fire. It started with pressure. Borders changed, trade slowed, signals stopped. The galaxy called it control. Humans called it a test. A powerful empire claimed a route, a space path humans used, not owned, claimed. They sent a message: leave. Humans read it. They did not reply. That silence was noted. Most species reacted fast. Humans waited. They studied patterns, ship movement, signal timing, supply lines. Earth had taught them, do not rush danger, understand it. The Empire blocked the route. Human ships were stopped. No shots fired, just force. The galaxy watched, expecting retreat. Humans did not retreat. They changed. Small ships disappeared. Large ships stayed still. Days passed, then systems failed. Not human systems, Empire systems. Navigation errors, fuel shortages, communication delays. Nothing obvious, nothing violent, but effective. The Empire accused humans. Humans denied nothing. They said, "Your systems are fragile." That angered the Empire. They sent warships, heavy, armored, threatening. The first shot was fired, not by humans. The galaxy leaned forward. Humans responded, not with force, with distance. They moved ships apart, forced enemy ships to chase.
Fuel drained, formation broke. Earth tactics make the enemy tired. When the Empire fired again, humans jammed sensors, not completely, just enough. Confusion spread. Empire ships fired at shadows, at ghosts. Humans struck only when needed, targeting engines, never life support. That confused everyone. Why not destroy? Why not kill? Because humans wanted a lesson. Earth taught them, win without burning everything. The Empire lost ships, not many, but enough to feel weak. The galaxy expected humans to stop. They did not. They sent a message: we do not want your land, we want passage. The Empire refused. Humans changed again. They shared data, openly. Empire internal flaws, corruption, resource waste, truth as a weapon. That broke morale. Empire citizens questioned leaders. Supplies slowed, support vanished. The Empire retreated, not defeated, but exposed. The route reopened. Humans passed through. No celebration, no pride, just notes taken. What worked, what failed. The Council was disturbed. Humans fought a war without calling it one. They used patience, information, limits. Earth survival rules. Do not fight fair, fight smart. Another report arrived. Humans redesigned ships based on the conflict. Weaknesses removed, backup added. They improved faster than expected because conflict was familiar. Earth was conflict. The galaxy understood. Humans were not peaceful. They were controlled. Control could break if pushed too far. The Council marked a new status. Humans, potential destabilizers, not enemies, yet. The galaxy had seen the future, and it was quiet. Too quiet. The galaxy decided to act, not with war, with rules. New laws were announced. Human travel limited. Human trade inspected. Human expansion delayed. The Council called it balance. Humans called it pressure. Supply routes slowed. Fuel became rare. Parts were delayed. Some colonies struggled. The galaxy watched, waiting for collapse. Humans did not collapse. They adjusted. They reused. They repaired. Earth had taught them, waste nothing, prepare for loss. When supplies stopped, humans grew food in metal rooms. When fuel ran low, they redesigned engines, lower power, higher efficiency. When trade failed, they traded knowledge, training, skills. Colonies became independent, self-supporting. That worried the Council. Control was failing. The Council increased pressure, communication delays, navigation limits. Human ships were redirected, sometimes lost. Humans adapted again. They mapped space manually. They used stars, old methods, simple, reliable. Earth survival again. The galaxy noticed something worse. Human cooperation increased. Pressure made them closer, not divided. That was dangerous. Most species broke under limits. Humans bonded, shared failure, shared success. A quiet rebellion formed, not loud, not violent, just refusal. Human ships stopped asking permission. They informed instead. Human colonies began teaching others survival methods, repair skills, crisis thinking. Other species listened. They learned. That spread influence, not through force, through usefulness. The Council panicked. They attempted isolation, a full blockade. Human systems cut off. Silence. For weeks. The galaxy waited, expecting surrender. Humans built in silence. They developed local networks, short-range, secure. They stopped depending on central systems. Earth mindset, never trust one source. When contact returned, humans were stronger, more independent. The Council understood too late. Every limit trained humans. Every restriction sharpened them. Earth had done this before. The galaxy repeated the mistake. A final message circulated. Humans are uncontrollable, not because they resist, because they adapt. The Council changed plans from control to containment. Containment required force, and force would test humans. The galaxy hesitated because they remembered Earth tests create survivors, not victims. A final line appeared in the report. Do not pressure humans. Pressure makes them evolve. Silence followed.
The galaxy feared its own move. The galaxy slowed, not because it wanted peace, because it felt fear. Control had failed. Containment felt risky. Humans did not break. They adjusted. Again. Reports arrived from distant sectors. Human colonies thriving. Harsh worlds, low light, thin air, unstable ground. Places others avoided, humans chose them. Not by accident, by design. They wanted challenge, because challenge created strength. The Council reviewed data. Human survival rates were high, too high, under conditions labeled lethal. Earth conditions appeared again: radiation storms, toxic soil, extreme temperature shifts. Humans treated them as normal, not easy, but manageable. They built layered systems, multiple backups, redundancy everywhere. Nothing depended on one solution. That was Earth thinking. The galaxy realized a truth. Earth was never special. It was training. Any world could kill, but only Earth trained. Humans carried that training inside minds, inside culture, inside decisions. Other species adapted slowly. Humans adapted constantly. That difference mattered. A new threat appeared, a natural event, a star collapse. Nearby systems panicked, evacuation failed, resources limited. The Council froze. Humans did not. They responded fast. They rerouted ships, shared supplies, built shelters, improvised routes. They saved millions, not for reward, not for power, because survival required action. Other species watched and learned. Humans taught without commanding. That influence spread faster than control. The Council understood. Humans were becoming central, not leaders, anchors, points of stability. Removing them would collapse systems. The galaxy depended on them, quietly, reluctantly. Earth's deadly label was reviewed, changed. Earth is a forge. Humans are the blade. That phrase scared the Council. Blades cut, but also protect. The choice mattered. How humans were treated mattered. Pressure created evolution. Respect created cooperation. The galaxy faced a decision: oppose humans or align. History showed the answer. Every force that opposed humans trained them. Every challenge improved them. The Council voted. Contact status updated. Humans reclassified. Essential species. Not dominant, not inferior. Necessary. The galaxy exhaled. For now. But one question remained. What happens when humans stop being tested? Or worse, when they choose to test the galaxy? Earth had shaped them. The future would reveal what they choose. The galaxy made its choice. Not loudly,
Not proudly, quietly. Human status changed. No announcement, no celebration, just a shift. Trade lanes opened, restrictions lifted, access granted. Humans noticed. They did not react. They observed. Earth taught them change is rarely kind and never free. The council invited human delegates, not to command, to listen. That alone was historic. Humans arrived without armor, without threat, but with awareness. They spoke simply. We want stability. We want space. We want choice. Nothing more, nothing less. The galaxy expected demands. They feared expansion, domination, control. Humans asked for none. That confused many, because humans already had power, the power to survive anywhere. The council reviewed the final report. Earth conditions, fire, water, cold, heat, pressure, loss, all designed something, a species that does not stop, a species that does not wait, a species that turns pain into progress. Earth's deadly label was closed, replaced with a warning. Do not create humans as enemies. They learn too fast. The galaxy accepted a new balance. Humans became reference points. When systems failed, humans were called. When disasters hit, humans responded, not as rulers, as survivors, as builders, children of a deadly world. The final truth spread. Earth was never dangerous alone. It was the teacher. Humans were the lesson and the exam the galaxy would face again and again. A quiet thought remained. What happens when Earth changes, when it becomes calm, when danger fades? The answer scared them. Humans would not fade. They would remember, because Earth taught memory through pain. The council sealed the archives. One final line recorded. Earth is deadly because it creates humans. Humans are deadly because they choose what to protect. The galaxy slept uneasy, knowing the future had teeth and a human face.